It blew up.
The comment is a drone.
What is it that they might not be telling us, and why?
I think if I answered that question, I'd be dead by tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
Why does it have to be a classified briefing if these are just hobbyist drones, they're not military drones? Why is it a classified briefing on the Capitol Hill?
I'd have to refer you to Congress on that.
I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
The government is actually lying to us.
There's no way the Department of Defense does not know what's going on.
Drones in New Jersey up and down yes, they are not DoD assets.
None of them are.
To my knowledge, none of them are.
Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense.
There's no national security threat we're seeing at this time, and no threat to public safety.
You mean they didn't do anything sinister yet? I probably can make that statement, and I have no top secret clearance.
During my investigation, I found answers to some of the biggest questions circulating the internet. Why can't we track these drones? Why haven't we shot them down? Why the secrecy? And why is there so much conflicting information? And to make sense of it all, I narrowed down the chaos to 6 main theories, each one attempting to explain not only what these drones might be, but why the situation has been handled with such silence and confusion. This is the mystery of the New Jersey drones.
No answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it.
Before diving into speculation, let's establish what we already know. New Jersey State Police and DOH confirmed that the drones were first spotted in northern New Jersey on November 18th. Investigators have been unable to locate the drone operators or where they are launching or landing. They only fly at night from dusk to 11 p.m. And out of the 5,000 reported mystery drones, the FBI considers less than 100 of them, warranting further investigation. The Department of Defense and Pentagon have also made statements about the drones, that they are not military, they are not foreign, but somehow not a threat, which is why they haven't been shot down.
If they're saying it's not a threat, it must be something going on that's real top secret.
But this story goes way deeper, because the drones didn't just start in New Jersey. These UAPs have been spotted near military bases and places of interest for years now.
There are legitimate reports of drones operating over areas of interest in Germany, in the UK, in military bases on the East and the West Coast, going all the way back to 2019.
Whoa! There was another drone swarm that was underway. For a period of 2 weeks, dozens of unidentified objects swarmed Langley Air Force Base in Virginia. And even though that base has some of the most sophisticated technology in the world, it could not track, identify, or deter the so-called drones from entering restricted airspace.
That happened during about a 2.5, 3 week period right before Christmas.
And akin to the drones spotted in New Jersey, they also fly around a few weeks before Christmas, and they are unable to be detected or tracked, which begs another important question circulating the internet. Why can't they be detected?
So I could imagine, a fully self-contained autonomous drone system that is doing something potentially with passive sensors that allows it to operate without emissions, which is going to make it harder to track. We were able to detect these objects with infrared when we were flying off the eastern seaboard. There are a number of reports from law enforcement that their infrared systems are not able to pick these objects up. And not just this year, but also the incidents over Langley last year. The pilots that responded to that incident, I've spoken to them, they weren't able to lock these up with their infrared systems either. So
if it's really true that the government can't pick these up, wouldn't their first priority be to acquire the technology that allows them to find out what they are or where they're coming from? The hesitancy in releasing information and overall non-responsiveness is only making the government look more suspicious. So that's what we know and what we don't know. But let me tell you, this is only the beginning. To be clear, this theory is speculating that the drones are actual extraterrestrials. This doesn't have to do with a fabricated alien attack psyop, but this idea is a pretty fun one to consider. The unusual flight patterns, autonomy, and infrared invisibility could suggest that these drones utilize advanced extraterrestrial technology. Also, there seems to be a mechanism within some of these drones that significantly reduces the output of heat from its power sources, which is what makes them hard to track.
We create heat whenever we have, stored energy and we utilize it. So to be able to mitigate that to such a degree that you can't even detect them at all is not a technology I'm familiar with.
FBI has known, and they've been investigating through the increasing UAP research groups that have been funded by DoD and funded by Congress. They've been researching what these things are because it's scary.
No conclusive evidence ties these drones to extraterrestrial origins. While this is a pretty fun theory, it is the least likely possibility from our investigative list. Another theory which is more plausible than actual UFOs is the hobbyist theory. Drone hobbyists generally don't have access to technology of this caliber, but it's entirely possible that this technology got into the wrong hands. The hobbyist theory is the explanation that the government is currently giving to the public about these drones, but most people don't seem to believe them. Now, here's where the hobbyist theory begins to fall apart. The drone's scale, coordination, and persistence over sensitive areas, such as Trump's golf course and military bases, far exceed what a hobbyist would reasonably do. Not to mention the countless sightings in not only different states, but countries. Hundreds of reported drones that couldn't be tracked. It seems very unlikely that a hobbyist is responsible for all of this. Michael B., a drone specialist, appeared on MSNBC to talk about his experience investigating these strange drones.
We head out there, we set up in a parking lot about a quarter mile away from the airport, and I'm trying to get flight clearance to take the drone up and see what this other drone is, and I cannot.
You see, hobbyists are easily identified due to their registration requirements. Michael claims that these drones weren't following the restrictions, meaning the person managing them was advanced enough to bypass those restrictions.
There was a restriction in that area and I couldn't get up, but there were drones in the air that weren't following the restriction. Now, we verify everything above us with flight radar, so we can tell if it's an airplane or if it's not. None of the things that we go after are on flight radar.
So, the hobbyist theory, in my opinion, stands stronger than the actual alien theory, but I still believe it's unlikely.
That there is circumstantial evidence that there is an Iranian mothership off the east coast of the United States, and that's launching these drone incursions.
So what do you think it is?
I think that there's a foreign intelligence collection happening against the United States that has been happening against the United States, but that is now at risk of coming to light.
It's unacceptable, and it's frightening.
So that's why you see a unified messaging from the US government that says you don't have to worry, because they know they can't do anything about it.
Congressman Jeff Van Drew suggested that Iran may be operating a drone mothership near the US East Coast. Drone technology acquisitions by nations like Iran and China could facilitate such an operation.
A legit foreign intelligence collection platform, very similar to the China spy balloon in 2023, it's a capability that exists.
The balloon is completely destroyed.
But truthfully, if the drones posed a direct threat or were confirmed as foreign, they would likely be shot down or somehow intercepted. So this again brings up a question that has been circulating the internet. Why can't we shoot them down?
What happens if you shoot down a drone over a populated city like Maryland, like Baltimore?
You meaning it'll crash on the city?
If they take action and shoot one of these down, even with the Secretary of Defense's permission, they're on the hook if that thing takes out a school bus or otherwise damages someone's property.
Or kill somebody.
Yeah.
So what do you think Americans are going to accept? A lie from the federal government saying they don't have to worry, or 5 people dead because it crashed into an apartment complex, but it gave them a chance to collect the technology that was out there? No, not only that, but when you shoot it down,
it has to go back to wherever it came from. Why not track it?
That's what they're doing. If you shoot the fucker down, you can't track it back.
White House statements did rule out foreign involvement, though skepticism about this claim still remains. It's conceivable that a foreign nation might collect intelligence, so this theory is still plausible but unconfirmed. A big confusion for a lot of people is, why fly the drones at night when they can't see anything?
You know, as I had stated in the video, there's really no reason for a drone to be flying at night because you can't see anything with a standard camera.
That's John Ferguson, an aerospace company CEO who claims the drones could be potentially looking for some kind of radioactive material or gas leak.
If you're going to try to detect some form of substance on the ground, it would be better to do it at night.
But Ryan Graves, an ex-Navy pilot that appeared on Joe Rogan recently, states that he knows people in high levels of government who work specifically on weapons of mass destruction.
Among other agencies, they would be some of the people that would be sitting in a skiff for 24 hours a day trying to figure out where it is and to go get it.
However, in contradiction to John Ferguson's theory,
and they assured me that's not the case, that there is not a loose nuke or other type of weapon of mass destruction that these objects, whatever they are pursuing right now. Otherwise, they would be working in a skiff nonstop to make that go away, that problem go away.
He also mentions that this method of using drones to find radioactive leaks is quite inefficient.
Having, potentially hundreds of drones flying around trying to identify these isn't necessarily the best way. Gamma radiation is typically well shielded.
This is also to add to the fact that if such a search were happening, there would likely be more government coordination and transparency to manage public concern.
They're looking for, I don't know if they're looking for a radioactive material. I said that in the video.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that what they're looking for has to be pretty damned important.
This theory does remain plausible, but it's weakened by strong government denials and dismissals from credible sources close to those investigating the alleged gas leak or nuke. Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works is a division of the aerospace company dedicated to advanced research, design, and development of cutting-edge military technologies. Formerly known as the Advanced Developments Program's ADP, Skunk Works has been responsible for some of the most iconic and secretive aerospace projects in history. Its secrecy makes it seem like a rogue research and development group, and it's drawn up tons of conspiracy theories as a result. The drone Skunk Works theory speculates that the drones are part of some secret research and development group, similar to Skunk Works, one that may be working on something highly classified or unconstitutional, which is why the government is saying that the drones are not a threat, but they're not ours. This may be the government lying through their teeth to keep a classified operation under wraps. But then the question is, why fly them in public? Aren't there designated areas where these drones can be tested? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So that means there must be a deeper and possibly more sinister reason they would be flying these drones. They could be looking for something or planning for something. Which brings me to my final and most horrifying theory. I am well aware that this is the theory everyone waited for. The New Jersey drone situation and other reports of UAPs have drawn comparisons to the claims surrounding a popular conspiracy theory. For those who don't know, the concept of Project Bluebeam proposes that global elites may stage a fabricated alien invasion or other supernatural phenomena to establish a one-world government.
Well, we know that they want a one-world government, so this is not a conspiracy theory at all. Just look at the documents of the 2030 agenda. Look at the World Economic Forum's documents. This is not a conspiracy theory. They put it in their own documents, and they outline in their own documents that it needs a massive event, a Pearl Harbor style event, in order to be enacted. So this isn't, again, conspiracy. It's in their freaking documents.
PSYOPs, or psychological operations, also take place when the government is attempting to sneak in new policies, to distract the masses, or to prevent something big from happening. The biggest thing that comes to my mind is the inauguration of Donald Trump. With his election, Trump is bringing a new structure to the United States, which threatens the current power structure. This phenomenon we've been witnessing may be the elite's last attempt at creating chaos to prevent Donald Trump from sitting in the Oval Office.
If there is an invasion, national security threat, the president of the United States is pushed aside in favor of NORAD. Is that what we're seeing here? I mean, I know it seems so crazy to be talking about this, but here we are.
The drone's seemingly advanced capabilities, autonomy, untraceability, and large size also do mirror the advanced technologies hypothesized in Project Bluebeam to simulate extraterrestrial phenomena. The drones also may be experimental technology like mentioned in the skunkworks theory. I still find this to be one of the more plausible ones, especially because there are videos surfacing of not only drones but strange orbs in the sky. But Project Bluebeam can be a video on its own, because there's a lot of speculative evidence that comes with it. So in this part of the theory, we'll just focus on sourced evidence regarding just the drones, and not these orbs, which are even stranger. And let me tell you, there's definitely evidence of a government cover-up going on. On December 23, 2024, Mayor of Pequannock Township in New Jersey, Ryan Hurd, posted a thread on X where he decided to break the silence about what's actually happening in New Jersey. Wednesday, December 11th, Governor Phil Murphy called a mandatory in-person meeting for all New Jersey mayors in Ewing. The topic was unidentified drones. They don't know who's flying them, where they're launched from, and where they land. State police directly informed Ryan Hurd that the drones are not a U.S. military operation and it is not a big tech company like Google, Amazon, or SpaceX. Ryan also has a background in tech. He claims to know the players and the skunkwork projects that they're hiding. So Ryan calls everyone he knows in drone and tech surveillance, and nobody knew anything about these drones. So he then begins to assemble an investigative team, which includes Blue Halo, a cutting-edge counter-drone tech company. In order to confirm anything, they needed evidence, the make, model, and origin of these mystery drones. Luckily, Blue Halo's Locust TATS system could pick up on this information. Friday, December 13th, Ryan Hurd pitches the plan to Governor Murphy. The deal was for Blue Halo to provide tech and operators for free to detect, ID, and, if approved, acquire the drones. Murphy connected them with Colonel Callahan, who set up a Zoom call with the FBI. On this call, the problem and solution was laid out. The FBI said that they were bringing in their own assets to detect the drones. See, the problem is their tech only detects small, class 1 to 2 drones. We're talking about highly advanced class 3 to 4 drones. After hearing this, the FBI reportedly ended the call abruptly. Monday, December 16th. The operation proposed by Ryan was red-lighted. The FBI had no interest in the solution, despite it being military-grade tech offered for free with operators included. Conveniently, Congress is now in recess. So here's what needs to be understood according to Ryan Hurd. The federal government doesn't want a solution. They are creating the illusion of a solution. This is classic plausible deniability, and we're being fed a cover story. Why are they so quick to shut down the real answers? Why are the top-of-the-line tools being rejected? Why is Congress on break just as things heat up? This isn't just incompetence, it's a cover-up. A deep government program is running this, but the question is why? The state government and the federal government now has an egg on their face as they are incompetent, and the government has painted itself into a corner and now has no way out of this other than to convince you nothing is happening. Now, I understand that this is not direct evidence of an alien invasion psyop, but would you think if these drones were a potential foreign adversary or completely unknown source, the government would take all the help it could get to find out who's behind it? But the utter nonchalant responses to the public, coupled with no willingness to accept outside help, makes me feel like these drones are a part of some sort of classified operation. And it may not even be the US government, but rather the global elites, planning a psychological operation on the public. A staged global crisis to implement new laws or further extend their control over society. Call me crazy, but next to the skunkworks operation theory, this one stands highly probable. I made this video with the understanding that these UAPs are still a developing story, and even if there was some sort of staged extraterrestrial attack, it may not be some massively destructive and immediate calamity. The government may release more information slowly over the course of these next few months or years to prime us for some sort of event or major change. And the honest truth is, nobody in the media currently knows what these drones are. It's important to take every theory presented to you with a grain of salt. Find actual first-hand accounts or video clips. Listen to a variety of credible sources and think critically. The answers may not come today or even tomorrow, but as long as we remain vigilant, we increase our chances of navigating whatever lies ahead of us. See that? Not about to be the boy who cried drone, but I hope that's a plane. That is a plane. Wait, that is a drone. Well, it's a plane. Never mind. It's a plane. That's a plane. Oh my god. These drones got me going crazy, bro.